What's up, everyone? Normal Christians Podcast. My name is Bo. As always, I reserve the right to get smarter. And this is a little bit of a different episode. In this episode, I just want to talk very briefly and give a little bit of my review on the new Space Jam movie, Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. I believe that's what it's called, with LeBron James and all that. As I record this, it came out today. And I just got done watching it, so your boy is giving immediate and initial reaction to the movie and a review. A little bit different than the stuff I normally do. Again, it'll be a little bit shorter, which some of y'all are happy about. But with that said, let me just say, overall, quick little snapshot about this. Was the movie good? I don't think so. I wouldn't say the movie was really that good of a movie. Was it bad, though? I don't know if I would go that far, but pretty close. In the sense of this, look, it's just not that good overall. I mean, from the beginning, as a matter of fact, whenever I started watching the movie, I struggled at the beginning because the beginning, in my opinion, sucked. So if you decide to watch this movie, you're just going to have to push through the beginning. I thought that the beginning was by far the worst, but once it actually got to meeting the Looney Tunes and leaning into that sort of stuff, that's where it picked up a little bit. And the reason I think it picked up a little bit was because what I thought was the best parts of the movie was when the movie leaned into the nostalgia, leaned into different movie references within the Warner Brothers universe. So if you don't know anything about this movie, it is a sequel of sorts to the original Space Jam, even though it's not a direct sequel. Well, actually, I guess in a way it is, because they in different ways reference the original movie in this movie. But in the original, you have a situation going on where Michael Jordan teams up with the Looney Tunes as the Toon Squad against the Goon Squad, and they win, and all is good and lots of fun. It's kind of a, man, I think that's a pretty, I don't know if cult classic's the word, but it is a movie that holds a place near and dear to many's hearts, including my own. Not to mention the soundtrack for that movie was amazing. But let's not joke ourselves. You know, if you're my age and you watch that movie has a place in your heart because, man, you had watched Looney Tunes. I'd watched Looney Tunes. I was a sports guy, so I had Michael Jordan. Knew all about him, so to see those come together was great, but I'm not going to make any, it's not some sort of, fool myself into thinking, I should say, that was some sort of amazing movie. I mean, watching it again, it's still great in some aspects, but, I mean, Michael Jordan's not an actor, so, you take it for what it is, and in this movie, it's a lot of the same. Look, LeBron James is not an actor, and boy, this is a show in many ways. It is cool, though, that he uses his family in some sense, so that is cool to see, but whew, it's rough on some of the acting parts of it. But where it shines is when it really gets to the Looney Tunes, as I said, and to some of these other Warner Brother references, because probably the parts that made me laugh and the parts that I really enjoyed the most were those references to the Looney Tunes and the different Warner Brother movies, because this is not a spoiler, you'll see it, but the Looney Tunes go into other parts of the Warner Brother universe, if you will. And what I mean by that is other movies under the Warner Brothers umbrella, because they can use their own IP, their own intellectual property, however they want. And so you have some Looney Tunes, let's say in the Matrix movie was one, which was really good. I really enjoyed one of the parts of that. Or you had Looney Tunes in the Superman cartoon. And so you had those sort of things, which I thought was great. And there was a lot of good references, a lot of good throwbacks, and so that's the stuff I really enjoyed. And that's really the only reason I kept watching throughout the whole movie. The rest of the movie, it wasn't that great. I mean, the whole plot was kind of just, it wasn't very good at all. The villain, if you will, played by Don Cheadle, I mean, he's a good actor, but certainly that was not, there was nothing going on there where I thought, oh yeah, that's some great motivation on different things. So it was weak on a lot of fronts. But I mean, look, here's the thing. If you really thought that the new Space Jam was going to somehow be an amazing movie, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what your expectations were. I think the highest expectations that people thought was, oh, this could be a good movie. But I feel like most people thought this would probably be a disaster. And look, I'm going to be honest, in my opinion, I don't think it was a disaster. Again, I'm not going to say it was a good movie, but I'd say its ceiling is mediocre at best. I'm going to put that more towards right on the line of being bad. So who should watch this movie? Look, if you are searching to scratch that nostalgia itch with Looney Tunes, if you're a big Looney Tune fan, then you might find a place in this movie. If you're a basketball fan, you might find a place in this movie too. Obviously, there's a lot of basketball with LeBron James, and you have other superstars like Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, people like that, Diana Taurasi. So you've got some mixed with the WNBA there. So if you're a basketball fan, that might be you. I think maybe a bigger market would be just kids. So maybe at this point, it's parents who have the nostalgia, who just want a good kids movie to watch with their kids. Well, that'd be fun, especially if your kids know Looney Tunes. If they don't, they might struggle a bit there. But certainly it was clean family movie overall, so that's a good thing to do with kids. But I don't feel like it did any of those categories particularly well. So the movie, if I'm going to give it a rating, I'm going to give it, if I'm feeling generous, a 4. More realistic, probably about a 3.5, about 3.5. So depending on how I feel, and what do I feel at this moment, just watching it, I laughed a couple times, so maybe I'm feeling generous at a 4. But again, probably realistically, 3.5. So that's my review. That's my take on the new Space Jam movie. I just wish they wouldn't have remade it. Honestly, I just don't see really the point of remaking it. I guess a new generation. I think it's been 25 years. So I get that aspect. I think a more creative thing would have been to do a lot of the Warner Brother universe intellectual property aspects, but maybe do it in a different sport. But I know LeBron James, big time name, keeping the Space Jam, but I would have liked to see it maybe in a different sport or in some other creative way, because the creativity they tried to spice this movie up with to really separate from Space Jam, I thought, really fell flat. I mean, really just wasn't very good at all in some senses. So I thought maybe a different sport. Whatever the case is, there you go. 3.5 realistically, 4 if I'm feeling happy and generous. But that's my take on Space Jam 2, A New Legacy with LeBron James. If you have kids and you just want to watch a good movie with them, deal. You feeling nostalgia, Looney Tune, maybe give it a watch. You basketball guy, might be for you, but just realize it doesn't do really any of those things particularly well. So that's my take. Hope you enjoyed it. 3515, and until next time.